All right, well, let's take a look at the process of adding other people into PLM 360, assigning them to a group. That group has a role. The role allows access into workspaces. So first, you must be an administrator because it's from the administration menu that we go and we go to our security area. Within PLM 360 in my demonstration site that I have, and you might have a site just like this if you have a 30-day trial, or maybe it's brand new or you're running a demonstration, you'll notice that I have users and I have just one user, and that's myself. Every tenant has at least one administrator. That's the first person in, and they're of course an administrator, so you can add other people and make modifications to PLM 360. But it's in here that we can go out into the upper right and click on New User. The required fields have asterisks on them, and you're going to go in and put in a first name, last name, and then an email. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add some other email accounts that I have. So I'm going to use my MSN account, and this will send an email over uh, to that email. So you could practice this if you have a MSN, Gmail, Comcast, Yahoo, etc. So you can create multiple accounts. Now the key is you need to create other Autodesk IDs for this. So I've already gone in and done that. So I'm going to add the other Brian. Then I'm going to choose the license type, and this time I'm going to choose a professional seat. This will allow me to add and remove, make records, and basically participate as much, except I'm going to make that user not an administrator but have access to everywhere else. So choose a license type, choose an account type of active. Down here where we have the time zones, we have seemingly every single time zone that's out there. So be sure to go and choose correctly, and I'm going to go in and I'm in Michigan, so we'll leave that. Unit of measure, and then everything is right. Now down at the bottom, there's a couple of buttons for you. I highly recommend selecting the create and add to groups. So you can create the user, but as I mentioned earlier, if you're just a user and you're not part of a group, you can't do much inside of PLM except just log in. You can't really browse around and find anything. So create and add to groups is the correct answer here. And then this pop-up that comes, this is going to ask you, do you want to notify the user? So by clicking on yes, this is going to send an email off to my MSN account welcoming me to PLM 360. And if you're doing this for the users, make sure that they, do one, make sure that they get it, that it's not being filtered out by your email system. In fact, I can see the emails it's coming in, welcoming me. So this next user, I want to be Brian Shannon, but I don't want that Brian Shannon to be part of the admin group. What I'm going to do is select all of the other read write. And what this will allow me to do is participate in the change management workspaces, the read write for items and bombs, product, quality, and you get the idea here. So choose the read write. These are predefined groups that are inside of most of the tenants that we have lately. You might have an older version of a tenant. Just be sure that whoever you add in are part of the groups that you've selected, and click on Save. And we'll go back and I'm going to repeat this one more time and add another Brian Shannon in as a participant. Okay, fast forwarding, I added in myself as a Gmail account. I did add myself in this case as a participant, and just to see how a participant in a possible workflow is, I added the Brian Shannon that's part of the Gmail to supply chain read only. So that user account is going to have access to only one workspace within PLM 360. Also notice something else. If you add people in and they log in and accept the terms and conditions and they're in for good, you'll see that they are mapped. In this case, there's a spot reserved for each of my other accounts. So as an administrator, this is a good way to see who has actually logged in and who hasn't. You might cast out a welcome to users or a group of users, and in here you can actually see who has logged in. So next step is to log in from each one of these uh, different different emails with these different Autodesk IDs and take a look at PLM 360 through those lenses. And now to do that, I'm going to recommend using a different browser if you want to see everything all at once. So I'm running Chrome right now with my Autodesk account. I can run Firefox, I could run Safari, Internet Explorer, with these other ones, and that'll allow me to, at the same time, run and be logged in as different personas to the same site and see PLM 360 through the different uses of groups and roles. So it's a good way to see what your users will see. And it's also a good way to test out any new security settings and workflow and things like that inside of PLM. So let's go take a look.